Welcome back. I'm Matt Manero, president and founder of Commercial Fleet Financing, and we're on a journey together. I'm so glad to see you on video number 3. Going back to my lunch with my friend Rick Sapio, he said to me, "What does your company stand for?" And I said, "Well, we're in the equipment financing business. We finance transportation companies and transportation equipment, and we want to finance a bunch of them." He's like, "What are you talking about? That's what your identity is?" He's like, "No wonder you're having so much trouble recruiting people to work for you and maybe even getting more business. No one knows what you stand for." And he's like, "What do you stand for, man?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Man, what is your catalyzing statement? What is your mission statement? What are the core values of your business?" I said, "I'm not really sure." He's like, "Well, it starts there." So the purpose of video 3 is to dig into the importance of developing a catalyzing statement, a mission statement, and core values. Let me give you an idea of exactly what I mean by catalyzing statement. For those of you who might remember, years ago, Volvo cars made pretty junky cars. Until Volvo drew the line in the sand and said, "We're no longer going to make cars that break down." In fact, our new catalyzing statement is we're going to make the safest cars in the world. A catalyzing statement is something way out there that you stand for. It's what your big purpose in life and in your business is. And once you figure out what that catalyzing statement is, people begin to come to you. You begin to attract other people who are hashtag like-minded. So what happened with Volvo is engineers that were working at other car companies began to say, "Well, wait a minute. I like the sound of that, build the safest car in the world. I want to go work for that company." And Volvo began to attract engineers who had a primary focus of building the safest cars in the world. And eventually, Volvo ended up building the safest cars in the world. Another example might be when John F. Kennedy said in the early 1960s, "We're going to put a man on the moon by the end of this decade." No one knew how that was going to happen, but it was so far out there that people began to gravitate and said, "Count me in on that program called NASA. I want to be part of putting a man on a moon." I started to really dig into this. What is the catalyzing statement? We're going to fire up what our mission statement, our catalyzing statement, and our core values ended up being. But once we had those dialed in about 4 years ago, something amazing happened in this office. All of the chaos that we lived with, all of that sort of unsureness, all of those sort of outside employees who were kind of like dipping one toe into our success, but really when the meeting was over, they were talking smack about the company. They began to understand, wait a minute, this guy Manero's serious about this mission statement and this core value thing. Like, he's not backing off. It's not like a flash in the pan idea. This guy's really serious. And it began to put stress on the organization because people started to push back. And guess what I did? I could finally have the power to push back because I had such clarity of who we are and what we stand for and where we're going that I could just leverage against the mission statement and the core values all the time. I could just simply say, does it match our core values? Then we're not going to do it if it doesn't. Do you, Mr. Disgruntled, cancerous, kind of pain in the ass employee, do you agree with these? And in the end, we ended up losing 7 employees who said, "I don't buy into that anymore." And I said, "I wish you the best of luck, but this is the new version of this company that's going to secure our futures. I wish you the best of luck." And 7 people left. It was a big hit to our revenue at that time as well. But then the magic happened. You know what that magic was? We started to get calls from people that said, "Hey, I watched one of your videos on core values. I kind of dig it. I really like your mission statement where you talk about helping people and your clients reach their potential through expertise, expectations, and gratitude. I like the sound of that. I'd like to interview with you." And very quickly, we ended up with an entirely new employee base of people who bought into the mission statement, the catalyzing statement, and the core values. And I began to be a great leader because I finally had this foundational principle, these bricks, this roadmap that I could leverage against in every decision, and the business took off. At that time, our company was doing around $100 million a year, and we went down to about 70 million when those people left. This year we'll do 170. I'm telling you, the most important thing you can do in your business is to get crystal clear on what the business stands for. And then you have to be relentless about it. You can no longer create those side deals, those little outside the norm deals that you have. You know the ones I'm talking about. Maybe it's a family member who works for the business, but they kind of take a paycheck, but they don't do much work. That's a side deal. If that person doesn't connect to the mission statements and core values, they gotta go. The way you take your business back is just the way I took my business back, by developing new standards of who you are and what you stand for and what you will tolerate and what you will not tolerate. And the only way I learned how to do that was by creating catalyzing and mission statements and strong core values and being relentless to enforce them. That's video number 3. Work on the catalyzing statement, the mission statement, the core values of your company. What do you stand for? What does it look like when someone walks in? What are the colors in your office? What do the uniforms look like? What do the trucks look like? And be relentless to enforcing them. The revenue and happiness will come back into your business. Video number 4 coming up soon. I'll see you down the road.